Good morning, everyone. It's KYN, and welcome back to my Let's Play of StokeApe Jumble. So, last time I finished up the rest of the watermelon rank, as well as solved the first 4 levels of the pineapple rank. And yeah, for the most part, the levels weren't too difficult. Save for like one where yeah, once again, it wasn't exactly my cup of tea since I don't really like stoner stacker staircases. And there was already a level like that before. But yeah, I did realize that I made that far more complicated than I needed to. But well, sometimes that happens, and so yeah, if it does, not really much I can do, especially when I've recorded myself playing and solving the level. Um, but in any case, yeah, the one that I just solved, yeah, the last one that well, it was pretty much the second to last level, yeah, that I solved the last time. That one was far harder. Is far harder in my opinion. So yeah, that one took quite a while, but it's a very nice puzzle though. Yeah, especially like the miner making the ceiling thin enough for the lemons to get through to the exit. But yeah, just before that part though, yeah, with the stone and stacker staircases. Oh no, yeah, definitely not my cup of tea. So wasn't too much of a fan of that part. But and just that concept in general, yeah, of making staircases with stackers and stoners. Especially you have to do it several times. But that's just personal preference, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in not liking that kind of thing in Neolympics either. But in any case, we're past that now, and so we are down to the final 6 levels of the pack. So we're getting pretty close to the end now. And yeah, pretty much my plan is to finish up the rest of the pack if possible. But if I don't finish in this video, then I will probably finish in the next one. But it all depends on how difficult these remaining levels are. Yeah, and for the most part, yeah, save for like the first several of the pack, which were much harder than I expected. The difficulty for the most part has flattened out and has pretty much remained consistent. With maybe like the odd 1 or 2 levels that are much harder than I expected. But again, yeah, the levels being hard, it's not exactly a bad thing at all, since I do love hard levels in the game of Lemmings. Just I did not expect to be hit with like harder than usual levels. Yeah. But at the same time, though, there isn't like any gauge of the difficulty of the pack. Yeah, the author didn't like put a classification for the difficulty on the forums or anything, but that's okay. Yeah, I guess that's where feedback is useful, and maybe they can consider putting one in, yeah, in the low pack title or something, yeah, on the forums. So anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, next up, Pineapple 5, not to scale, 40 lemmings, 38 to be saved. Alrighty, so, yeah, it looks to be another tower that I'm not familiar with here. Okay, oh, Ghostbuster traps, okay. Okay, they are going out to the left. Yeah, and there's a 1-screener, okay. Okay, and we don't have any diggers to move downwards. Let's see. Well, I could probably see, like, let's see. Wait, can like float or glide down here, it appears. Could possibly even like just contain up there with like a blocker and then maybe like closing up the gap with a platform or something. Alright, so we're on there now. And how does fencing work here? To go. fence out to the right first. Okay, then let's go ahead and build up to the left. Actually, let's go ahead and disarm the traps here. Alright, and then let's close out the gap there. Then release them by bashing away the platformer. And finally build to the exit. Excuse me, build to the exit. Alrighty, nice one. Wasn't as difficult as I thought it'd be, but a pretty nice low. Pineapple 6, fool me twice, 60 lemons, 55 to be saved. So L2 Circus tile set here. Okay, another one screener and 3 entrances this time. Okay, so they'll just have to use the sides. Yeah, these two entrances will need to use the ladders on the sides, yeah, to get up to the exit. Okay. Excuse me. I'm not sure what's going on with my throat right now. Maybe this is more likely since this is pretty far up. Okay, well, I'll lose up to 5 here. Oh, right. Okay. Here now and then. Actually, maybe we could possibly just use a stoner there or something. Maybe just use a fencer probably. Okay, doesn't quite reach up there. So here's an idea. Okay, trying to see if I could, maybe do this at the right time or so. Okay, let's go to the max out the release rate then. Yeah, maybe this will help. Yeah, there we go. I want something like that. And it doesn't quite reach, alright. In that case, yeah, perhaps this can still be a bit salvaged here. No, I did not want that to happen. Yeah, maybe something like this. Yeah, there we go. Wow, this one was difficult. It was definitely not easy to figure out. Maybe a slight back route, but I am not certain though. Pineapple 7. I think it's 7 now. 40 lemmings, 33 to be saved. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I've, if it looks, the video looks abrupt, then, I apologize for that because I need to check, twice, yeah, to see whether, OBS was indeed recording. But yes, it is recording and also pausing whenever I press the hotkeys and resuming as well. And so, yeah, we're up to about 13 minutes of recording time now. So anyway, yeah, here we have, the L2 Egyptian tower set, I believe. Yes, L2. Yeah, I was thinking maybe L3 as well, but like, no. The L3 Egyptian is different. This one. Ooh, no platformers or builders. Interesting. And there's another one screener, okay. Yeah, pretty much one screener. Yeah, a tiny bit of vertical scrolling, but not much. This will be pretty interesting to play and solve. What does bashing do here? Okay. Just bash towards the gap here. Which means we will need to be a bit higher. However, okay, So we do that, then get onto here. We don't have that much in the way of bashers. The most prominent destructive skill here are miners. Actually, how does the miner skill do here? Those seem to work out just slightly better. Okay, then we get to there, and then... maybe an 80 release would do properly. Oh, actually, I didn't really need that, did I? Didn't need that 80 release rate. Did I actually break the... No, I did not. Okay, you can get up there. Okay, maybe getting over the steel block is the best thing to do here. Nope, once that happens. there. Okay, guess it's like too close to the wall or something. Okay, yeah, at least I can still get up here. Okay, excuse me. I'm up here now, just wondering what is the best way to go from here. It really does seem to point that maybe going out is the best way. I already used up a lot of the destructive skills in the meantime, it appears. Hang on a second. Yeah, did that there. That took 2 miners. 2 miners to get through. Yeah, maybe rather than do what I did. No, but now I don't have any more blockers, unfortunately. End up being a bit too low here. Okay, or just do what I did before, but just use bashers instead. Well, that only leaves me with a stack of remaining. But, maybe it won't be too big of a problem. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. To like help here, so Yeah, I don't have anyone else nearby, and oh, he is able to collect them. Okay. Don't know why they weren't able to be collected before, though. Okay, yeah, pretty difficult one. Nice level, nevertheless. Wow, it's pretty difficult to like work with the skills that we have. Pineapple 8, bubbles 20 lemmings, 20 to be saved. Yeah, the Ono bubble tile set is my favorite. That's why the first tile I ever made for lemmings is in the bubble tile set. Okay, we need to save everyone here. This just seems to be like basher staircases. We're also using the trick of turning the digger around with a blocker. Really, there seems to be for this level. And also a miner to help with the staircase. And I might have done this too low. Yes, I thought it'd be too low. But there, yeah. Whoops. He's probably like a bit too precise, yeah. Not much room for error here. Then again, I think I could have dug for maybe 1 or 2 pixels more and then still be able to like get up to the exit. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is. So really the only difficult part is just realizing that a blocker is able to turn the digger around. Pineapple 9, Scenic Route, 35 Lemmings, 35 to be saved. I believe that's the title of a level in a Lemmings Plus level as well. I think it's Lemmings Plus Omega 2. Can't remember. Yeah, either Lemmings Plus 5 or Lemmings Plus Omega 2. It's one of those two, I'm pretty sure. Well, it's a sliding basher down the slope, so... yeah, there you go. Easy. No, that's a really bad background I found, but hey, it works. And anything that sells a lower, whether it's a background, I'll take it. And then finally, Pineapple 10, ripped off. 15 lemmings, 15 to be saved. By the title, this is it like a reference to like maybe a I think it's a custom level by Yogg? I can't remember who, but I think I do remember a similar like a level made in like the Fire Tower set. not sure if it's a reference to that, but guess that's a question to ask StokeApe here. Only a platformer and a builder. Okay. Well, this should most definitely be a platformer and then a builder to get to the exit. Okay, and it seems to be... So it really just seems to be like using blockers for like flow control here, and then... Yeah, since you need to get the worker enough time to platform and build to the exit, I would think. I'm really thinking that's all it is. Yeah, and essentially the climbers are basically for delay. Yeah, I know it's not a working solution, but yeah. So it had to be that. So just need to figure out a way to give the worker enough time to do the platform and building while not losing anyone. We also have 3 blockers, so... Let's try a pass-through blocker. Yeah, because maybe it'll be more tightly compressed this way or something. I wonder if there's a way to like maybe get the lemmings to like sync up completely. Then again, I can't see them climbing like the wall on the opposite end. Or just like having them slip on by after the blocker is freed. Yeah, which means you have to bash at the right level. Yeah, in order to create something like this. And we only had 10 climbers though. You just missed that ledge by a pixel. Yeah, it's one of those levels where it's going to require like trial and error for what it looks like. Yeah, it's not going to be fun. Then again, I do see mining this way and then bashing the other way, but then there's nothing to stop the basher though. Well, except for a blocker. If it's going to be that trick, then yeah, I really don't like that basher blocker trick. I really don't. Then again, I do have an idea though. Yeah, maybe the whole idea is to keep the release rate as it is. Yeah, so that you don't have a flood of lemmings, and therefore you're able to control the crowd better this way. Okay, well, worked out a little bit better. This time we lost 4. Yeah, it's not a solve, but it's still an improvement though. Well, no, you won't be able to step up like that. Well, let's just wait before assigning a climber. Yeah, I think this should work out a lot better. Although, it's probably still won't be a solve though. Maybe we'll lose 1 or 2. But once again, it's an improvement over losing 4. Oh! Darn. No, it's lose 2. But again, it's still an improvement. Yeah, over the original lose 4. Okay, in that case, let me go ahead and try it when he's facing to the left instead. And similarly, let's do the same with this guy. I think I'll wait before assigning him a climber. Okay, so I might just be able to lose 1 now. Ooh, yeah, just barely, but yes, it is a lose 1. Okay, so it's this guy right here. So he's right there. Okay. Okay, in that case. Up there, and let's maybe try a 60 release, right? Okay. Yeah, he's probably not gonna reach the Bastion Tunnel in time, though. Oh no, most definitely not. Yeah, and even if he was able to land on here, he would not finish the building on time, so that wouldn't exactly solve our problem. How many climbers do I have? Five of them, so half. Okay, let's see. I also have a blocker as well. Okay, perhaps the other idea is for them to simply like come in as the Basher is nearing the end. Okay, yeah, so I think the biggest problem would just be the rightmost entrance. That seems to be giving the most problems right now. Yeah, another bomb would be this guy here. But this is probably a lose 2 solution though. Yeah. Yeah, almost a lose 3. Okay, in that case, let's go ahead and maybe mine as far away as we can. Yeah, but maybe it's not a lose 1. Oh no, this did far worse. Yeah, and we only have 10 climbers, so that is the biggest problem. Yeah, so 5 of them will not be able to be delayed. That probably means the middle entrance is probably the likely one. That does not have to be delayed. Yeah, maybe the outer entrances will need to be. Yeah, and this way we'll leave 1 extra climber, I guess. That didn't work out too well. Nope. I'm just gonna go back to this idea of compressing these guys. Yeah, if it really does require it, this trick, then yeah, I'm really not a big fan of it. Yeah, that's what I mean. I really don't like that trick at all. But right now, I really don't see any other way to do this though. But hey, I'll just take it. And yeah, there's like a bonus level here, I guess. And finally, Pineapple 11. Thank you. 25 lemons, 25 to be saved. Thank you for playing. Yeah, it's just a walk to the exit. So just like the first level lemons plus one, for example, or the first level sub lems. But anyway, just time skip all of this. Okay, and it takes 47 seconds, and the lock release rate 80. Alright, so with the completion of Pineapple 11, that brings us back to the first level of the pack, which is Banana 1. Alright, so, I have to say, this was a pretty decent pack. Started out pretty difficult, but I guess the difficulty just flattens out, yeah, and just stays consistent like that for the rest of the pack. Although there's still the odd one or two difficult levels, yeah, here and there in between. Um, but those heavy builder fests aside, yeah, this is actually a pretty decent pack. Yeah, not bad for a first level pack by StokeApe here. There's definitely room for improvement, but yeah, it's still a pretty decent quality pack, yeah, in my opinion. So well done. I will most certainly be posting my replays to your StokeApe Jumble low pack topic, on the forums, and also giving some feedback. But as I usually like to do in the final video of my Let's Plays, yeah, I just simply go do an overview of the levels one more time. And so, with this one, we're just going to go ahead and go to the level pack here. So, Banana 1, yeah, a really nice level to start the pack. Wow, it's like much harder than I expected, but it's a really nice one. Yeah, especially it's very clever with using that bomber and then just blocking in the crowd with a blocker and whatnot, and then just coming from the other side to bash him free, and then just build across the gap before anyone else arrives. So well done, StokeApe. Lego, yeah, Banana 2. Yeah, just pretty much seems to be an open-ended though. Just get to the exit in any way you can while making sure that you don't lose anyone, since you need to save everyone. And then Banana 3, yeah, this one is also a pretty difficult one as well. Yeah, even though it doesn't look like it. But pretty nice one, yeah, I must say. Just a really nice management puzzle here. With making sure that you don't lose anyone, while like making sure that you don't waste too many of the limited skills that you have. And then Banana 4, yeah, if the whole like making a staircase, yeah, by interrupting the destructive skill mid-stroke is intended, yeah, I gotta say, this is probably like the best level of the rank, yeah, in my opinion. So well done. Although it is a bit fiddly in some ways, but yeah, it isn't too bad, I guess. Banana 5, I will probably consider this like maybe the hardest level of the rank. Yeah, this one took quite a while to figure out, but it's a pretty nice one though. Yeah, with it being mostly a platformers and builders puzzle. Yeah, in particular, just being able to release everyone, yeah, and not lose anyone. That was the hardest part. And do have like a jumper left over, but it's probably not a problem though. I was probably just efficient, yeah, as I mentioned. And Banana 6, yeah, pretty much an open-ended one, and not too difficult or low. Yeah, just builder heavy. Uh, Banana 7, yeah, this one wasn't too bad either. Probably just the hardest part is just containing the crowd while sitting on one ahead to forge the path. But other than that, it's not too difficult. Banana 8 seems to be another open-ended low as well, with again the hardest part just being able to contain the crowds and not losing more than one, since you only allow one loss. Banana 9, this one was a pretty good one. Just figuring out how to keep the crowd safe while also isolating a worker to make the path. But very nice one though. And then Banana Town, this is another pretty good one as well. Yeah, with the hardest part just being able to figure out how to contain the crowd and also releasing them later on. But you have a couple of options there. I really like that. And so it's a very nice low to finish off the rank. Um, yeah, for Coconut 1, yeah, this one also seems to be a bit open-ended, but um, yeah, maybe there are ways to like minimize losses. But yeah, here I just went with a solution that works. Coconut 2, yeah, nothing too difficult about this one. Just build heavy. Coconut 3, yeah, just one of those lows where, yeah, it's a low design that's not too like highly regarded, yeah, by the Neolemics community. Yeah, essentially the principle is, yeah, do not hide traps inside the terrain and stuff. Yeah, because yeah, especially in more modern versions of Neolemics, one could just simply review where the triggers are by activating CPM, and so therefore it renders hiding traps pointless. Uh, it might have been fun in games, yeah, back when people first made such levels, but yeah, nowadays people tend to be very annoyed by such levels because yeah, a solution that would have worked, yeah, now doesn't because there's a hidden trap that couldn't have been accounted for ahead of time. But given the fact that this is a Minesweeper level, yeah, it is to be expected since yeah, that's exactly how the game of Minesweeper works. But yeah, as I mentioned in my Let's Play though, yeah, I don't think the after this graphic sets wants people making levels with it, but I'm not exactly certain if they had like finally polished it up with an update and whatnot. But I will ask though. Yeah, but I think I remember. Yeah, that they said that they didn't want people making levels with this graphic set yet. So goodness knows why it's even included in Neolemics. But again, I will check. Coconut 4, nothing too difficult about this one. Just again, the hard part is just keeping the crowd safe and making sure that you're able to rescue everyone and not have anyone trapped. Coconut 5, yeah, it's a very stressless level since there's only one lemming to manage here. And even that, it's not a very hard level. Pretty decent one, though, in my opinion. And then this one, yeah, stackers, I tend to struggle with levels that mainly provide stackers. But I think I'm not alone there. Yeah, it's just one of those skills that isn't like very well understood, I guess. Hence, people tend to struggle with those that provide stackers. Coconut Sound, yeah, this one wasn't as bad as it looks. Yeah, it might be a little difficult, but no, it isn't too bad at all. Yeah, maybe a slight background, but I'm thinking my solution is probably acceptable. Coconut 8, yeah, this one is definitely a background since I didn't even make use of the pre-placed lemming at the top. So yeah, you might want to do something about that. StokeApe. Coconut 9, yeah, it's not a hard level. It's only hard because of the very strict time limit. I'm pretty sure there are ways to solve the level without running out of time. Yeah, right on the dot, as the last lemming counts as saved though. Um, but yeah, it's probably just like a minor like a tweak to my solution though. And then Coconut 10, yeah, this should definitely be a background as well, since I don't even collect the pickups here. So maybe want to do something about that as well. Watermelon 1, maybe a background, yeah, since I don't collect the pickup, but at least in the top corner. But yeah, maybe it's acceptable. Yeah, it's probably a red herring, but I am not certain. Watermelon 2, yeah, hard though for me, only because I tend to struggle with zombie levels. They tend to be the bane of my existence. But it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, though. Yeah, not like super hard, but it is difficult. Yeah, most definitely. Watermelon 3, most definitely a breather, so nothing too hard here. Watermelon 4, no, not a fan of it. Yeah, as I mentioned, I am not a fan of stoner stacker staircases, but again, I do acknowledge that I made it far harder than I needed to, since I could have just stoned lower, so that the stoner on the left, yeah, acts as a wall for the others, so that they don't fall out to the bottomless pit, facing to the left. So definitely that rapid spamming, Yeah, which does require the pausing and everything. Yeah, most definitely did not need to do that at all. So yeah, that's my fault. Watermelon Fire, yeah, hard one, but a really, really good one. Yeah, where you just have to realize that you need a basher on the left side to interrupt the diggers that are going. Yeah, so that you don't use more bashers than you actually have provided. So very nicely done here. Yeah, one of the best. Watermelon 6, pretty much a breeder here. Just need to realize that you need to go over the top here, yeah, in order to bypass the force fields. Watermelon Star, pretty much another breeder as well, with probably the hardest part just containing the crowd. Watermelon 8, just fun one, but inverted. Um, and yeah, I did check Williams' version, and yeah, that one is different since it's only a digger's only low. Yeah, just because of it's the low is just dig, just inverted. Although maybe with the exit and the entrance right exactly where they were, but in your version, yeah, you have the exit and entrance inverted as well, 180 degrees that is, along with the entire map. And then Watermelon 9, yeah, this one was pretty much a breeder as well. Yeah, probably the hardest part was just simply managing the crowds, since you can't lose anyone. But there are plenty of like extra skills though, so yeah, that definitely explains why it's not as hard as it should be. But again, it's not a problem. Yeah, it's very nice to have breeders here and there. Yeah, in between like the hard levels. And then Watermelon Town, yeah, as I mentioned, I've already played this type of level so many times. Yeah, and at this point, it's just like not enjoyable for me since, yeah, it's obvious what needs to be done, but getting the setup correctly is really, really annoying. Yeah, even with the like the convenience tools of Neo Limix. Yeah, builder miner combo, I've seen it so many times now. Yeah, especially in a setup like this where there's several pillars. Yeah, with like small to medium gap in between them, where you need to place the builders correctly so that one miner can go through all of it. So yeah, definitely was not a fan of this one. But even then, yeah, it's still a decent level to finish off the rank. Pineapple 1, yeah, this one wasn't too difficult. Just the hardest part is like containing the crowd and then yeah, making sure that you don't lose anyone. Pineapple 2, yeah, this one seems to be like it really reminds me of level by Dota Chakal in Fiat Lab in the final rank, where he has a similarly made level that requires like similar elements. Yeah, like with the bombers, yeah, making a turnaround point. And but instead of 46 seconds, there's a minute instead. So I don't know if StokeApe got inspiration from that, or if he really did make this level, yeah, without actually knowing that there is a level like this. Pineapple 3, yeah, again, yeah, Stone Stacker's tickets is, especially when you have to do it several times here. Yeah. That part I did not like, but I did like the part with the mining, so that the ceiling is thin enough for the crowd to get through. Yeah, that one was nice though. Pineapple 4. Um, this one is almost like the breeder, but like it's still like a bit difficult in some ways. Yeah, especially with like managing the crowd and just making sure that you don't lose like anyone. Yeah, especially like chops and whatnot. Yeah, that one was a bit difficult to manage, but you do have the skills to be able to avoid all of that though. Pineapple 5. Oh, this one was really nice. Yeah, yeah, this was especially nice. I really like the setting someone to the bottom. Yeah, for your worker, and then just working your way back up, and then coming back towards the crowd to like release them. So that was really nice. Pineapple 6. Yeah, this one is a bit harder than the previous one, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. But only because I'm already aware of the tricks that I've used here. Yeah, in order to like bypass the walls and obstacles. But yeah, it's most definitely harder than the previous one, though. Most definitely. Pineapple Sound, yeah, definitely one of the hardest of the pack. Um, yeah, just the fact that you only have stackers to like get higher and everything. Yeah, that one is really difficult to manage. But yeah, again, I might have made the solution harder than it needs to be, but I would most definitely be checking out what the StokeApe intended for these levels. Yeah, after I'm done recording, most definitely. And Pineapple 8, yeah, nothing to this level. Just the hardest part is realizing that a blocker can turn a digger. Yeah, and then afterwards it's just you know um basher and minor staircases. So yeah, definitely seen that kind of thing many times now. So that would explain why it's not too difficult. Yeah, at least for someone like me. Pineapple 9, maybe a back rub. Yeah, because this one was quite easy. Yeah, it literally only took me like 30 seconds or so. Pineapple 10, yeah, like I said, yeah, if that fiddly basher blocker trick is required, then yeah, I am not a fan of it. I really am not. Yeah, and so I tried to avoid um, using that as part of the solution when I'm solving. But honestly, I don't see like any other way to do the level. Maybe I could try again later, and maybe I could probably ask StokeApe if it is required. But if he tells me it's not, then yeah, I would gladly come back and see if I can solve it without it though. But by avoiding it, yeah, the best I was able to do was losing one though. Yeah, which is no good on a save on level. But yeah, if he tells me it's not required, then yeah, I will come back and see if I can figure it out. Yeah, then finally, Pineapple 11 is just a self-solving level. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Yeah, especially as there's no skills anyway, and the exit is right in the walking path of the lemmings. So yeah, it just solves itself. Alrighty, so there we have it. Yeah, all 41 levels. Yeah, that final level is just a self-solving one, and really there's just 40 main levels. Yeah, to pack. Yeah. Again, as I said, yeah, this is a pretty decent first level pack by StokeApe. Yeah, even if there's like some room for improvement and all of that. But yeah, maybe to hype things up, and that is, yeah, if you're looking for like difficult levels to really test your solving skills, then you might want to maybe look into my Lemmings Memories pack. Yeah, that will really be released in the far future. Yeah, since I've been very slow with making progress on that and haven't done so in quite some time now. But I think I am finally ready to come back to work on it some more. Then yeah, consider taking a look at it. But I will warn you though that it's going to be really difficult. Yeah. At least that's based on all the feedback that I've received so far. Yeah, even with the very low amount of lows that I have made. Yeah, like it's definitely um, being hyped up as a pretty difficult pack so far. And so yeah, I'm definitely not pulling any punches here. Yeah, because I played so many custom Lemmings level packs over the last few years, and yeah, I am definitely not afraid to use them in the lows that I make. So beware. But yeah, you don't have to worry about it for quite some time though. Since again, I'm very slow when it comes to level making, and yeah, I tend to be more of a level solver rather than a level maker. So anyway, to close off, yeah, nicely done with this pack, so babe, and those solutions which I think are backgrounds. Yeah, you might want to look into maybe fixing them and whatnot, but it's entirely up to you. Yeah, not every author is fond of background fixing. Yeah, I know I'm not. Yeah, because that tends to stress me out. But I am one of those people. Yeah, where yeah, if it misses the important parts of the intended solution of what I intended, yeah, then I will fix it. Yeah, even if it does, stress me out and whatnot. Um, yeah, and again, there were some of those that weren't my cup of tea here, but yeah, don't take this too personally because we do have our preferences as to what levels we like and what we don't like. Yeah, like with me, for example, I like hard levels in the game of Lemmings, and yeah, especially with like I think in general for any level pack, yeah, there will always be like the one level or so, yeah, that won't be to the person's liking. Yeah, and that tends to be very true for like big level packs anyway. So like in the case of mine, yeah, it's going to be more than 100 levels. At least that's what I planned. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure there will be at least one level where a player will not like it, and that's fine. Yeah, it's I will still find any feedback useful, whether positive or negative. So yeah, um, but again, yeah, don't take it personally. Yeah, just I'm just letting you know, yeah, what my likes and dislikes are. Yeah, in regards to designs, that are favorable to me versus those that aren't, and what the general Neon Levels community tends to view them, stuff like that. So yeah, once again, this is StokeApe Jumble, everybody. And so you've been watching since the beginning. Yeah, I thank you for that, and I hope you enjoyed the very first custom Lemming Star pack that I've LP'd in a very long time, in about 3 months. So yeah, I have to admit, yeah, it's been very very nice coming back to what I've been enjoying doing for the last several years. So yeah, I'm really um I'm really happy to be back doing LPs again, because I really did miss it in the time that I wasn't doing it, and that I was going through childhood games that I used to play growing up and whatnot. But yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, to be LPing and recording more videos for my channel once again. So yeah. So yes, don't babe jumbo everybody. So with this, have a great day, and I'll see you guys all around.